Joining us now for more on this is Bill Bolden, a senior inspector with the U.S. Marshals Service, and Newburgh Heights, Ohio Police Chief John Majoy. His suburb is just outside of Cleveland. It's great to have both of you here. Chief, I'd like to start with you. These numbers are alarming. 34 kids disappearing just in May. What do you think is going on?
Well, I think the key thing here is maybe not so much disappearing, but there could be a runaway. There's no evidence to show any abductions or any other criminal enterprise that may be involved in this. But it's still an alarming number all the same, being that there's this many children reported missing at this time of year. School's getting out, the weather's getting warmer. It is certainly an uptick, and it's certainly something that we want to make sure we draw concern to and bring the public's awareness to this so we can help bring these kids home safe.
Chief, is there any geographic pattern? Are they missing from certain neighborhoods?
No, I don't think that there's any pattern that's certainly pointing to a certain area or a certain dimension. I think it's just one of those areas where from time to time we'll see an uptick in burglaries, we'll see an uptick in perhaps road rage incidents or robberies or something like that. And so anytime that crime or incidents like this spike, there's a concern, and we certainly want to bring the public to be aware of this. But really, there's no smoking gun that's pointing in a particular direction that's going to say, okay, this is what the culprit is, or this is what the cause is, and this is what we need to do to prevent it or to bring these kids home safe. It's really going to be a conglomerate of effort to bring these kids home safe.
Inspector Bolden, the vast majority of kids who go missing are runaways, but that doesn't mean they're out of danger.
Right, that's correct. What we've learned is the largest percentage of cases that we work start out as runaways. And once these kids get on the street, they're very susceptible to become victims of a whole variety of crimes. They have very little resources to survive, and they're often forced to either engage in criminal activity or other activities, just to survive on the street and keep a roof over their head.
Right, that's what leads to trafficking, right?
That leads to trafficking. That leads to a whole variety of other issues. Oftentimes it's not the trafficking that you see in the movies. It's simply they're engaging in activity just so they can have a roof over their head and food to eat. And there's no shortage of people to take advantage of these kids when they're out there.
Chief, more than half the missing kids on your website do not have recent pictures. How much does that hinder your search for them?
It's a tremendous hindrance because it's so difficult to chase down a name versus a face. And so the more that we can get these faces out there for the public to see, the better off we are. But unfortunately, as you see, there's over half of those that don't have photos available, which is really challenging for law enforcement because it makes it all the more harder to go ahead and broadcast this out to the public and bring awareness to that. And it's a detriment to the case at times because it slows things down quite a bit.
Right. The officers, witnesses, people in the neighborhood, they don't know who they're looking for. They don't know what face to look for.
Exactly.
Inspector, so many kids spend so much time on social media. How much might that be factoring in here? For example, meeting somebody online that, has said, hey, let's meet, run away and let's meet here or there.
I think social media is a big driving factor behind these kids. They're going to be inclined to run away from whatever situation they're running away from anyway. But now, instead of just being in their neighborhood or down the street or with somebody they met at school, now they have this instant ability to make friends or hook up with somebody from a different city, different county, different state, where prior to social media, they would tend to stay in their own neighborhoods and their own communities.
Right.
Now they just travel the world.
Inspector, a lot of times the person you're communicating with online may be catfishing you. They're not who they say they are.
Absolutely.
How many times do you see that happen with kids?
Oftentimes we see them, especially the younger kids. They're corresponding with people through social media that they believe are their age, and they're oftentimes older adults. 20s, 30s. We've had them, in their 50s that have been, befriending these children through social media, and these kids run away. They feel like they have nowhere else to go, and so they go to this person. And once they're there, they're often trapped, not like physically trapped or held against their will. They just don't have the ability to leave.
Right. We're talking about kids here. They may be teenagers, yes, but they not only have no resources, they don't have life experience and know what to do and how to get out and have any resources to help them do so. Finally, I would just like to have both of you comment on this. I'm really stuck on this number of 34 kids. I'm a mom myself. Have either of you ever seen this many kids vanish from an area in 1 month?
No, I have not.
Chief, you go first.
Sorry. In my 33 years, no, I have not. This is an alarmingly high number. But again, I think it's really important that the public know that there's no panic, that there's no one that's randomly abducting these children off of the streets. As Inspector Bolden said, you know, that these children are subject to prey and being preyed upon. But again, this enhances the emphasis that we want to put for parents to watch the social media of their children, watch who they're talking to, watch where they're going, follow some of the trends, because nobody wakes up in the morning and thinks they're going to be victimized. And so they really need to prepare well in advance. As parents, we have to do this to keep an eye on our children because we don't want them to become victimized.
Inspector?
Yeah, I can say there's no indication that there's anything organized about this, that these children are being kidnapped, that they're being abducted. The chief mentioned we see this uptick often. You know, it goes in cycles. We tend to have a lot more of these in the summer than we do in the winter months because the kids are in school. Summer, they want to be out on the street. They're more likely to run away. But this is an alarming number and much higher than I've seen in the years I've been doing this.
Yeah, it really is. And folks, everybody out there in our viewing audience, have a recent picture of your teenager. They change a lot very quickly when they're growing and going through adolescence, but if you have a picture of them, it'll help police and authorities find them faster. Chief John Majoy, Inspector Bill Bolden, thank you so much, both of you, for being here tonight.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.